Hey, here's Captain K. Ahoy landlubbers, and welcome back to another episode of Factorio. In the last episode, we were having some power issues that we've kind of solved by placing down a whole hecton more of solar panels and a total of an additional 100 steam engines. So we got our backup engines up here, and over there we got 100 steam engines more placed down solar panels basically wherever there was space to fit, just to have enough power to power up all of this monstrosity. As you can see, we're still struggling a bit, but at least we're not having brownouts anymore. Also, off camera I was optimizing all of the station, giving it a bit time to settle, so now we have the resources. But I'm pretty sure once I fire this up, it won't be enough, and I'll spend most of my time setting up bigger mines and more smelters. Oh yeah, talking of more smelters, also I doubled up this station, so now we have 2 trains that can provide this station continuously, while the bottom station is fed by this patch that we want to get out of the way. Here at the iron, that's the situation. We got 2 trains feeding these iron station, running through 2 mega smelters that are then providing 2 fully compressed blue belts that are then being loaded in 1 station. So that's how I'm gonna roll with this. 2 mega smelters are gonna fill 1 pickup station, because I want 2 fully compressed belts for a maximum throughput here. And the same over here. Right, this now is empty, but if there's... why is it empty? Good question. There was a little mistake in the blueprint that I forgot to fix, and it's this belt here. There we go. That's also why this train is still waiting. So let's have a look at this. And now we got a fully compressed belt. So with these 2 belts, maximized throughput here as well. That's what we want. All the trains whiz around smoothly. I haven't had a lockdown. All the rail signals are placed correctly. And the system can handle most of the... it can handle all of the trains up to now, actually. Here the iron is getting away, and then soon I can straighten up this, because this was bugging me for quite some time. And yeah, so now we are ready to do the postponed firing up of the science lab, of the science factory. Also, I noticed while building all of this off camera, there was another issue. We were not having enough alien artifacts to provide the goo for the alien science packs for all of the labs. Also, I've extended this a bit. Now we have all of the 80 labs down here together with the 20 labs up there, so a total of 100 labs. That's what we're running currently, and all I have to do is connect this up. So we should be set now. And just as a quick demonstration, so let's do a quick comparison. I've got these 2 reserved. Here we got one with 100, and here one with 150, right? So let's do the 100 with the old setup. So that's the speed, 100 each, right? Let's only do it till here and cut. And now let's hook up this science factory. Actually, we also need to provide it with iron. There we go. So here part of the iron is turned into steel. This is not fully compressed because it's lacking the second input here, but it should be enough. So this is the gears that we're producing. They then produce the red signs, so that's our throughput of red signs. Up here they're turned into inserters. So it's got a little stutter when it runs out of iron gears and iron, but other than that it's more or less constantly producing. Here we're turning them into fast inserters that then turn into filter inserters, producing the blue signs. And here, of course, the mystery goo. So now with this all fully loaded up, let's go for the 150 research. And that's the speed at 150. Yeah, I think that's quite a difference for the, like, compare it with the old setup. Let's actually, do I need any of this? Actually, all of this was kind of pointless, but I wanted the old research to be out of the way. So let's continue. Whoop, already finished. That was quick. Yeah. And now, actually, now here's the big moment we were building up for. Like for what we're now researching. We built up all of this. We built up that mega smelter, all of the electronic circuits, the advanced circuits, all of this oil for the plastic that we need. All of this is now coming into play when we fire this up for our first SpaceX research, the assembly robot. And we're gonna need 6,000 signs, so let's give it a go. And you saw the speed previously. Now with all of those 100 labs, that's how long it's gonna take. So yeah, we're gonna use up quite some resources and quite some time. However, I think this is comparable to an early game stage with the regular science. And yeah, at least we got a reason to continue playing, a reason to be here, a reason to expand, a reason to optimize, because this is only getting more and more challenging. The second research step is already 12,000, so we might need to double all of this up. Let's see. So far, all of the resources, all of the science packs are flowing in at a quite nice and steady speed, and it can handle all of that. Looking good so far. Maybe we can even extend this a bit more, but I'll let it run for a while to use up all of the science pack that have piled up to see whether or not it can keep up with a constant research, because that's what we're gonna do right now. From this point on forward, we're gonna constantly research all of these SpaceX research goals. And then, of course, with every step where we can build something, we're gonna start the construction of these. So let's jump ahead a bit in time. And here we are. Research is ongoing. We're currently researching space castings, which will give us the hull components. Between the last recording and the cut, we've researched the space assembly, and we've also finished the space construction. And as you can see, we're running a bit into a backlog here. We still have to build the station for the assembly robots, so that needs construction robots that we got over here. So that's construction robot cell. And down here I've set up a cell for the low density structures that we're going to need a lot of. So they're one of the main components. They're also needed for the rocket launch. That's why part of it goes up here, and the rest goes over there to a station that I yet have to build. So here will be the low density station. These two are not enough for the space assembly robots. We're also going to need speed module 3s and efficiency module 3s. So that means we're going to need a module cell, and I've placed down a station over here. So probably with this space, because this should stay free, right? Here we got the electronic circuits, the advanced circuits. This space should be available for a big module cell. I'm going to build that here. But as you know, the tier 3 modules, they need processing units. And also the processing units are needed for the rocket launch. Let's actually head over there where we SpaceX temp. So I've also set up this station. And yeah, that means we're gonna need processing units. That means we're gonna need to focus on finishing the processing unit cell. I've laid down the station over here already, but all of the rest is missing. So this is gonna be the top priority for the rest of this episode. Here we are. So this is gonna be where we launch the rockets. And if we have a look at the top left of the screen, we still need to build up our satellite network before it can even start to launch the dry dock. That means we're going to need a few rocket launches, and that means we need all of these components. We got the rocket fuel, we got the solid fuel being produced here. So I've repurposed this plastic cell for solid fuel that's being produced over there. Then the second component is the low density, the station you just saw, and the last thing that we need is the control units, and control units need processing units as well. So let me head over there and start with the building of the processing unit cell. Alright, so took me the better half of a day, but it's finally done, the processing units cell. So if my math is correct, this unit here is going to produce around 4.5 processing units per second, and there is space to double all of this up to this side, and then we'll end up with something like 9. Maybe I can crank it up to 10 processing units per second, and I figured for that I'm only going to need a small train station. So this is going to be, let's rename that, that's going to be the processing unit loader. There we go. And let's run up that monstrosity. So here we got 12 assembly machine 3s producing processing units, and they take 15 seconds regularly to produce, but it's been cranked up to a crafting speed of 4.25 and the productivity of 40%. Then up here we got the advanced circuits. We got a total of 10 assembling machines, and they provide something around 7.4 advanced circuits per second, which is enough for roughly 13 assemblers. That's why I placed down 12 down here, so 10, 12. And up here we got a copy of our electronic circuit cell. This one produces something around 100 electronic circuits per second. And let's have a look at the calculator. I'm gonna need a total of 96 for 4 processing units per second, and 16 of those electronic circuits are going down here. They're being split here for the advanced circuits, and all of the rest goes down for the processing units. So this should all work out. If not, there is a bit space to expand the electronic circuits, and I think there is no space to expand the advanced circuits, but this one is going to be the limiting factor. And should I be able to produce more, I can place down a few more assemblers here, but all in all, that's going to be it. And as you can see, all of this can be doubled up to this side, and then we got twice as much. Up here we got those 2 splitters, so this one is going to split the iron. That's our main copper splitter, because we're going to need a lot of copper, and this is the plastic lane down here. Now all that's missing is a few trains, so let's grab those. And here we go. So let's see. We got plastic here, so you're gonna be the plastic train. You're gonna be copper, another copper, and iron. So let's see, the color for all of those is gonna be blue, like the processing units. And your schedule is gonna be, We want to load plastic. There you go. Plastic mega loader. Inventory full or time passed. I don't know, let's say 16 seconds. And then you want to head to the processing unit, sell plastic, inventory empty. Let's give you a bit of fuel and go. And the plastic train's already inbound. And let's very quickly disconnect the iron. There we go, let's not get run over by the train. And last but not least, let's send you out to get the precious resources. Let's check plastics flowing in. There we go, fully compressed line. Beautiful. First copper train has arrived. Had to fix that. There we go. Copper's flowing in as well. And now the only ingredient that's missing is iron. Here we go. Iron train inbound. Beautiful. So let's have a look at how all of this performs. Actually, now I can connect it up, I guess. There we go. And it's daytime, so power should last. So let's see, iron's going in. Nope. They're not connected. Like this, and go. So that's the speed at which electronic circuits are being produced. Got enough iron, got enough copper, got a constant flow. Here they come, end up in a fully compressed belt down here and here, and from there they flow to the advanced circuits. And it looks like plastic's not connected. Yeah, there we go. So let's hook that up. So we got electronic circuits, plastic, and shoot, that's the iron overflow. That's supposed to be copper. I'm glad that's not hooked up yet, so we can fix that. So I quickly had to fix that up. Now the excess copper is being collected here. And now let's connect this up. And this one is going to provide the advanced circuits with all the copper plates that they need, copper cables. There we go. So this is up and running and is producing. Here they come. Beautiful. And they flow down here, are being grabbed by those. And they are producing the processing unit. So let's head down at the very bottom. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Yeah, that's definitely 4 per second. So processing units are now being produced. I've let it run a bit. This indicates that we're producing enough advanced circuits and enough electronic circuits. And let's go up here. So they are flowing at quite some speed. If we check out this belt here. But if there is enough, I can maybe add, I think, up to 4 more assembling machines down here. As I said, this setup up there is for 13, this is now 12. So maybe it'll starve if I place down 14, I don't know. But for now, this is good. I'm happy with this. And let's have a look at this combinator, how it's counting up. Yeah, see, like we're already up to 630 and counting, and now I'm having another brownout. So the next, I'm still struggling with power. That's one of the next things on the list. This over there is 200 steam engines, another, I don't know how many up here. The solar fields, yeah, we're all a bit short on. And now with the processing units present, we can focus on the control units for the rocket together with the solid fuel. So let's see if we can achieve that before the end of the episode. Well, guess what? It's the next day. So I ended up playing till late at night, trying to do this, fix that. You know, it was all cascading. But let me run you through everything that happened. I hope that I don't forget much. First of all, yay, these miners are done. So I could reroute the tracks here. So now it looks all nice and tidy. Beautiful. Also this ugly loop here is gone, so this looks a lot better now. And I realized that this stacker here was way too big. So I removed everything except for 2, which should be more than enough. I mean, the only reason I can see this stacker being used is when there is a train entering and then another train waiting behind it, or like, I don't know, 3 trains at the same time try to enter this station. Then this will keep the trains off this track, but yeah, other than that, that should be more than enough. Actually, while talking about stackers, the only place stackers really make sense is where there is a lot of trains waiting, like here. So for the drop-off and the loading of the copper and iron, because here every train has its own station, but if they try to pick up copper at the same time here, that's where I need the stacker. So enough said, that was that. Previously you saw a little brown out. I'm still having those eventually. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm still struggling with power because the more I build, the more I consume. I placed down all of these solar panels up here, and yeah, we're still stuck to those 200 engines. Maybe I'll extend this, but then as you can see, here's my rocket. It'll I don't know, use up that space, so I'd rather have the steam engines somewhere else. Haven't figured out where yet. Now let's head over to the processing units. I of course finished that. So the processing units and the solid fuel are going. What we need for the rocket, right? So here we go, and this is what I did. So I was fiddling with this a bit. Oh, and it has already backed up. Beautiful. So that's how many? 38,000 processing units done. And as you can see, the overflow from the greens and the reds from the electronic and the advanced circuits, as well as a tiny bit of this. And I placed it in the middle, so they'll grab some. As soon as these chests have more than those chests, they will stop, and then it'll pass through here, and that amount usually is enough. That flows over there, and here with the red and the greens we produce the speed modules, and this produces every 15 seconds. This produces every 30 seconds. So one of those can provide 2 assembling machines for the rocket control units together with the processing units. They're being produced here, and I did limit the chests a bit, but this is also already backed up. So let me send you down to the production, and I'll take a walk, because on the way there I want to show you the rocket fuel station. It's this one. This one is not yet completely filled because it only works on the overflow, so only if we have enough oil, but now it looks like we do. Yeah, light oil is there, heavy oil not yet, but if either we have enough light or heavy oil, this is producing. Might have to change the condition, because as soon as the plastic up here runs, now it has backed up as well. Like if this is under full throughput, these four can't keep up with the demand of the station, but these four chemical plants already drain all of that petroleum gas. It's insane, the rate of petroleum gas that they need. Even if I extend this to the full 10, here we already have 14 chemical plants that do the cracking. So yeah, and you know, it can be scaled more. I might have to find a solution for more refineries eventually, probably. Up till now, the limiting factor has been the oil. As you can see, we're still rather low. And you know, I don't know if I've showed this, but I think I did. I at some point decided to heat up the oil, so from the 25 degrees it has, when it flows into the tank, it has something around, well, here it is 60 degrees in the tanks, it's then something around 50. Because of the friction, because if you see, if I run to the left, the tanks have less and less, because I think the oil is so dense, and I figured the hotter it is, the better the flow, so we get a nice distribution here, because it's no good if here the tanks are empty while there is still oil in there. But yeah, that didn't cut it. So have to improvise, have to work on that a bit more. And yeah, now over here, this is the production of the solid fuel. Right now both are running. The condition here conveniently with the rail signals. We need to have more light oil than petroleum gas for the light oil to work, and if not, I think this is routed over here for that condition. Oh no, this is directly. We need more than this amount of petroleum gas, and the same here. The reason why I used rail signals, because of the decider combinators, they need power, and the rail signals don't. They work without power, so that's a nifty little trick here. But yeah, that's the production of rocket fuel going up there, and I think around, because they also need 30 seconds at around the same speed, the control units are being produced, so that's those two sorted out. And now finally, the thing that took me so long, of course, for the rocket launch we also need the low density structures, and apparently we're gonna need a lot of them. So that's why I have more than 2 assembly machines. If you remember, rocket fuel and control units, I have 2. Here I have 6 and some space to extend, because we're gonna need a lot of that. And the trains here are waiting, and you see the reason why I had to postpone this a bit. It needs steel. So I had to place down an iron smelter, and that's what I did here. So a train's gonna grab all of the iron plates from our mega smelter, which is probably the next thing that I have to extend, because this one eats a lot of iron plates and then converts them into the steel that I so desperately need for the low density structures. Also, if you have a look at the map, here at the signs you can see that I replaced one station. I replaced the second iron station with steel, as I mentioned in a previous episode that I might have to do eventually. So now these trains are good to go, so let's send them out, and I should do that from the other side. Let's do that here, and you may grab some resources, and you may grab your resources. So that's that, and as soon as they come in, we should produce low density structures. Steel just arrived. There we go. Let's see if everything's hooked up correctly. Looking good. Where's the other trains? There is another one coming. It's the copper train. And any second now the plastic train should arrive. There it comes. Beautiful. So they take a while as well. And let's hop into our train and finally head to the SpaceX launch facility. And here we are. Finally, as promised, for the end of the episode, we're gonna launch our first satellite of the satellite network, the second rocket in-game, I think. And the launch facility is ready. I am ready. You are ready. Everyone's ready. Let's throw in a few speed modules in here to speed it up. Yeah, a few in here as well. And the trains are ready to head out, so let's send them on their way. That was control units, low density, and the rocket fuel, of course. Beautiful. So let's wait for them to come back. And here the first train arrives, delivering the low density structures. And of course, this is a spaceport, so we're gonna use robots for that task. Everything else up to this point has been built mostly using belts and splitters and all of that fancy stuff. And here we use bots. It's a spaceport after all, isn't it? Right, so the rocket fuel is coming in, the rocket part is being built, there we go, and that's the countdown. It's roughly a part per second, that's good. And here we go, the rest of the rocket fuel is flying in, and the rocket is ready. Beautiful. And the satellite is loaded. We're ready for launch. And let's see if how far we can follow that rocket. First satellite off the network, launch. Nope. Perfect. Ah, did you see that? Disappeared. Actually never followed the rocket that far. Interesting. So, back to SpaceX launch site, I say. 1 of 7 satellites. In the next episode, we're gonna launch the rest of them. Also, don't forget we got a rocket parked up here that we can launch. And then we focus on the rest of the challenge. So I hope you liked this episode as much as I did. I sure had fun. If you did, be sure to leave a like. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you fancy, you can always support me on Patreon. I'm Captain Concept. I wish you a fabulous day. And make sure that whatever you do, that you've got enough fuel for your rocket. Arrgh.